or a group of studies finds that older adults also experience meaningful hypertrophy. And so that starts to say that not only are they experiencing meaningful hypertrophy, but there are functional improvements associated with creatine muscle gain. What does that mean? That means in most of the studies that test not just your muscle gain from creatine, which could be body water, but they test your strength as well. And in almost every study, when you gain muscle from creatine, you also get stronger. Just adding body water to a muscle bloats it up, it gives you a pump, doesn't make you stronger. Only adding actual physical muscle, like the myosin and actin machinery in the sarcomeres that makes your muscles contract to do the thing, that's the only thing that's going to make you stronger outside of neural changes. And remember, the groups that don't use creatine, they get the same neural changes because they're doing the exercises. So the nervous system gets the same workout either way. The creatine group, not only do they get bigger, they get stronger too. Now that shows us that, man, there's something happening here that is not accounted for by body water alone. And a couple of studies, actually multiple studies, focused on the idea of like, well, what if we're just not washing out properly? An example here is one specific study, Kandau et al., which should be linked in the description, I sure hope. They did a washout period where they basically did some training with creatine. Then they did a bunch of training without creatine, and their gains from the creatine training phase still held in place weeks after the creatine was no longer around. And that confirms that the hypertrophy, or very highly suggests that the muscle growth folks got from creatine really was actual muscle, because the body water's gone, but you're still more jacked. It's kind of by definition means it can't be body water. Now, a similar study that was just done, which is the study we're reviewing, this Hagstrom paper, it showed that, well, actually after washout period, we don't have any sort of effect there. The wash-in period accounted for that. And so we basically saying here that, well, it was really only body water. Now, it could be true, except we have one study that shows creatine only results in body water gain, which is this one. And there's a few more out there floating around. And then literally dozens of studies, just as well controlled, that show that creatine enhances actual muscularity in addition to bringing in body water. One study at a time, when it is an aberrant conclusion that doesn't align with most of the other studies, is very interesting. But if you look at most of the studies at the same time, which is what science is all about, it's starting to show us that creatine probably actually makes you jacked. Every now and again, some studies get wacky and they find no effect, but I'll get to why they're doing that in just a little bit. So for now, our confidence in creatine is starting to rise significantly more than when I first started this video and told you, hey, mate, creatine, this new study found, doesn't really do anything. Here's another interesting line of evidence that shows us creatine probably gains muscle. I mean, the best evidence that is directly shown to gain muscle, irrespective of body water gain. That's the most direct, but it's really cool to also have indirect evidence to support that position. So we have a bunch of it. First, creatine usually enhances the performance. You get more reps per set, or able to do a little bit more weight per set. And it enhances your ability to do multiple sets productively for higher reps every time. It enhances your relative effort. It enhances the result of your relative effort, the performance in each set. And it enhances how much volume, how many sets you can do productively before you get so weak that you can't really train anymore. That we know getting more reps per set